Hi, I'm Sleeping Girl,
And I'm Cece.
and this is our series of hypnotic instructional videos. I said I was going to say educational, but instead it's going to be instructional videos on certain. So we're going to talk about like certain aspects of hypnosis, maybe some inductions and stuff, and then we're going to demonstrate them, and then we're going to talk about them later and see how Cece felt about them. And the purpose of these is for you guys to have some like visual references of how to do certain things and to learn from them. Today, we're going to be talking about fractionation, which is one of our favorite things. So fractionation, to quickly define the concept, is something, it's the concept that when you go into trance multiple times over a short period of time, you will become more susceptible to hypnosis or maybe more suggestible, and it'll feel more intense and more interesting, maybe. Maybe some certain things. I mean, we'll definitely talk about that in a minute. So I kind of wanted to jump into the demo really quickly. We have this awesome thing here that we acquired recently, which is, it's just a like basic counter. I don't know if you guys can see that. But basically the point is that when you click the button here, it goes up one. And you can like zero it out and stuff. And we use this as a fractionation counter. And so basically I'm just going to let CC kind of like take this and start playing with it and see what happens, because we have some certain suggestions that are in place on this little thing that we have. So really quickly, what we do with this is basically every time she clicks the counter, she goes into trance. And then she comes up after a number of counts. Like, she counts in her head a certain number. I don't actually remember what the number is right now, but I think it was 3 or 5. The important part is that she counts it in her head, and counts it maybe subconsciously or unconsciously, and then comes up. And then what she does is she looks at the number, and she can either like kind of see what the number says on the counter, and she can process it, or she can ignore it. And then she clicks the counter again. And these are all post-hypnotic suggestions that I've installed in her with this. So it turns into this really cool like loop thing where she just continues fractionating herself over and over and over. And as you'll see in a couple of moments, when she comes up, she's really super out of it, and it's really fun to play with. And it's really cool and useful for other things. Now, this is only one of many different ways that you can use fractionation. Fractionation is a wonderful tool and a wonderful thing to play with, but I thought this was a really good example of something that you can just use fractionation for its own good and its own fun and its own coolness, right? So I could just like keep talking and leave her there for a really long time, and it would be super fun and super cool for both of us. And of course, I could be suggesting things to her while she's doing this, and they would probably go kind of in and out of her head, and it would be really interesting to see if there were some certain things that I could put in there. But for now, I won't. Just imagine that there are certain things that I could be suggesting to her at this point. So, I think maybe I'll let her go one more count, and then we'll wake her up. It's funny because something I've noticed is that she's counting in her head, right? I didn't say that it was going to be like 3 seconds before she pushed the counter again. I said that she was going to count to 3. So the idea that I was thinking is that those counts would become slower and slower in her own head as she became more fractionated, and that's exactly what happened, is that her whole mental processes slowed down while she's being fractionated, which is also useful. Like, you can use this kind of thing for like time dilation and like playing with time and stuff, and that's really cool. So one more, and go really deep with this one. That's right, there you go. So at this point, you're going to come back up, and you're not going to press the button again. So, and up, all the way up. That's right. How are you feeling?
Good.
Yeah? You need to be a little louder.
Good.
That's good. I'm being really rude by not giving her an awakener of any kind. Like, I'm not even counting her up very much at all. And you can tell she's very, slow, and that kind of effect happens with a lot of fractionation and stuff. So we're at, I don't know if you would be able to see this, but she's at 17 on the counter. So there was 17 counts of fractionation at that point in time. So do you want to talk a little bit about how that felt and like what that's like?
Sure. Okay, so basically I'm clicking it and I'm kind of counting to 5.
Okay.
And then I'm slowly coming up. Almost like drawn to come up, which is kind of interesting because a lot of times, especially as I do it more often, I kind of go, like, kind of fall deeper. And so the being almost like drawn to the counter to come up helps.
Yeah.
Because there's even a part, almost like a string or something, that's like, okay, your body's moving. The rest of you's not really awake, but you are starting to come up. And then, my eyes usually open to be able to see the number. Usually when it goes a bit longer, because we've had these go quite a bit longer.
Yeah, we've gone up to large numbers with this.
I don't actually see the numbers.
Yeah.
I just see, like, numbers. I kind of register that something is on that screen that I'm visualizing. And then I go down again.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's very intense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very intense. Thanks for that perspective. Alright, so I hope this was fun and interesting. There's obviously many other ways that you can use fractionation. We talk a little bit about this in our podcast. We have, not a little bit. We have an entire episode dedicated
called Fractionation.
We talk about this. We talk about other things in theory that you can use with fractionation. In the future, these episodes of instructional things are going to be more stuff that we haven't done previously. So it'll be really fun and interesting. But I thought this was a good way to start out with it. If you guys like it, let us know. If you guys have any ideas of things that you want to see us do, demonstrate, talk about, whatever, let us know in the comment section or find us on Tumblr or wherever.
Right.
I think I have an email somewhere. I don't know where that is. Thank you so much, guys. Happy trancing. Have fun. Bye.